I'd next want to introduce Rachel Sutphin. Rachel is a third-year divinity student at, I'm sorry, I can't find the name of the school with me, but in Atlanta. But I first learned about Rachel reading about her in a newspaper story. Her father, Sheriff's Corporal Eric Sutphin, was killed in Blacksburg in 2006 during a manhunt when Rachel was only 9 years old. In July of 2017, her father's killer, Will Morva, was scheduled to die in Virginia's execution chamber. Rachel had written to then Governor McAuliffe, urging him to spare the life of Mr. Morva. Given a serious mental illness, Rachel didn't believe that he deserved death. Instead, she urged the governor to reduce his sentence to life in prison. When she did not receive a response, she took her appeal public. Unfortunately, the governor went on to sign the execution warrant, and Mr. Morva died from an injection of lethal drugs that were shrouded in secrecy and obtained at great public expense. And it's our fervent hope that that execution in July of 2017 will be the last that ever takes place here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Now, in 2017, Rachel was an undergraduate student at Virginia Tech. A few months after the execution, I had a meeting in the Roanoke area and arranged to meet Rachel at a coffee house in Blacksburg. I was immediately struck by her intelligence and her strong desire to end capital punishment that was rooted in her personal faith commitment. Since that meeting, Rachel has become one of our most spoken allies from the community of murder victim family members in Virginia. She has written 2 op-eds that were published in the Bristol Herald Courier and the Washington Post. In November of 2019, Rachel flew to Virginia from school in Atlanta to speak at a press conference where we released a letter in support of death penalty abolition that was signed by 15 murder victim family members. Rachel was quoted widely in media stories throughout Virginia and across the country. In January 2020, Rachel again interrupted her graduate school studies to fly to Richmond and testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee in favor of death penalty abolition. Senator Bill Stanley, who we'll be introducing shortly, was one of the people at that hearing. Her voice has incredible moral authority after having suffered such a terrible personal loss. For all of this dedicated volunteer work, I'm very pleased to present Rachel with the 2020 Betty Gallagher Citizen Advocate of the Year Award. Rachel.
Thank you, Michael. For the record, I attend Columbia Theological Seminary, which is a Presbyterian school in Atlanta, which brings me great joy to receive the Betty Gallagher Award, as she too was Presbyterian. I am very honored to receive this award, as well as to have been here with Senator Kane, who was very kind to my family when my father was killed and helped us through the process. As Michael said, my father died in 2006. And the trial for William Morva, the man who killed him, then lasted 11 years. After I turned 18, I began to write letters to state legislators and the then governor, Terry McAuliffe. I wrote asking for clemency for Morva, and I never spoke publicly until the summer of 2017, when William Morva's lawyer, Dawn Davidson, showed up unexpectedly at my house. She and I then stayed in regular contact as Morva's execution date grew closer. Despite our advocacy, Morva was executed in July 2017. A few weeks after the execution, I contacted Virginians for alternatives to the death penalty. Although Morva had been killed, I did not feel that the fight was over yet. I wanted to fight for the other 4 men that were on death row at that time. I have lost count of all the interviews I have done, both in the secular world as well as in my Presbyterian role. I've written many op-eds, participated in a documentary with the Tennessee Alliance for Severe Mental Health Exclusion, and I spoke at a panel discussion at the Berkeley Theater after they put on a play about the death penalty in the 1500s. I participate in the work of BADP and advocate for the abolishment of the death penalty to honor my father and his work of protecting life. I believe that all life is sacred, no matter if you are on death row or not. I share my story with hope that one day the cruelty and ineffectiveness of state-sanctioned murder will be realized. And I hope for a day when all sentences are commuted to life and execution chambers are torn down, when families of murder victim members are better taken care of, and when a time when all life will be cherished. Thank you for this award and for being asked to speak here today.